John Wick has been announced by Stern. And I've got to say, there's been some really interesting responses to it. We're going to have a little chat about it today. Got Enzo here who's going to join me. And I've noticed, Enzo, he's got a
Mm.
drink there.
I got a
He's,
John Wick bourbon actually.
yeah, straight from the Continental.
Yeah.
Or do you say the Continental? I don't know. Anyway, whatever it is, I've noticed you've got the Jaws there. Let's start with that, mate, because I know you've had quite a few new games in and out. How are you enjoying Jaws?
I am enjoying Jaws actually. To be honest, it's quite, you get really kind of pulled into it as much as the theme wasn't really like, I'm 40, I turned 40 just the other day.
Oh,
But
happy birthday.
yeah, thanks. So it's not a movie theme that really grabbed me, but it was, it's a new Stern. My son loves sharks. But it doesn't matter, it really pulls everyone in and it's captivating and it's fun and it's difficult. It's not an easy one because the shots are a bit tight and everything, but it's a great game. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, and it's had. I mean, it had this fluctuation where immediately went on to the like top of Pinside, as it happens, doesn't it? The Pinside top 100, a game goes to the top, and then it drops
Yeah.
down.
Ac-
But it
Actually,
seems
if
to
I'm not
maybe have
mistaken,
found this level now.
if I'm not mistaken, John Wick is number one today.
Is it really? No one's played it.
No one's played it.
It's
Yeah, I think
crazy.
it's sitting. Actually, I haven't checked in a while. I think it's sitting like 9 or 10 from memory. That was like a few weeks ago. So who
Would you
knows?
think? Would you? Well, you've got one there. Would you think that's about right?
Um, it's so hard. I haven't played everything. So some of the games in the top 20 I haven't played. I mean,
Okay.
I think pinball, we've said this, it's so subjective,
Yeah.
like it's just so opinionated and like John Wick's been, it's been a very, a very interesting 24 hours to be this, a lot of pinball crybabies out there and a lot of people that probably need to rein in their opinions a little bit. But, obviously the whole no gun controversy is a big thing.
Well, talk to us about that. So, but before we go into it, let's not assume that everybody goes into that. But I would like to get onto that topic. So let's just cover the basics before we get into that gun
Yeah.
stuff. So Stern have released this game, John Wick, based on all four of the
All four.
movies,
Yep.
Pro, Premium, Limited Edition,
Yep.
as ever, artwork. Well, what we're going to try and do is try and filter in some footage here. I've not been able to download the footage, so we're going to have to sort of indulge in a bit of video piracy, quite frankly. And then so nick a bit of it live off Stern's YouTube channel so we can have a closer look at it. It's a brand new designer. I've got that right, haven't I? Brand new designer?
Yeah, brand new designer. He's worked on James Bond and Turtles and stuff like that. But, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think there's, considering that sometimes, something new is good. And from what we've seen, I think it's good. I think he's done a great job.
Yeah, so we've got all the movie assets. I think it's fair
Yep.
to say, and I've only had a limited look at the promo video, certainly not seen enough of it to start ranking it on Pinside or anything like that. It actually looks like a Gomez game. The ramp on the left-hand side looked like the Deadpool ramp to me, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you're going to do a bit of that. We've already discussed it when we discussed the Matrix. We did a video, we discussed the Matrix, and we discussed John Wick. John Wick is not. I am aware of it. I've definitely watched 2 or 3 of the films, so I'm very aware of him. As I understand it, they've got Ian McShane doing the call outs now.
Yeah.
Ian McShane is a fantastic actor, a wonderful, wonderful actor. There'll be a lot of people in the UK saying that's Lovejoy. But actually, one of my favourite Ian McShane roles. So he was in Deadwood, basically. Ian McShane was in Deadwood. One of my favourite roles in a film called Sexy Beast. Have you seen Sexy Beast?
Not for a long time, but I know the one.
He's superb in that. So everybody goes on about Ray Winstone and Ben Kingsley, but for me, Ian McShane stole the show. He's a wonderful actor, and they've got him to do the voiceovers. I think this is a really, really big deal because actually, all right, it probably would have been. You're not going to get Keanu Reeves to do it, but even if you had him, still the more compelling voice. The person with more depth and character to their voice is Ian McShane, who's got a great actor's
Very
voice.
soothing.
You could play this machine in the bath. Don't
You
plug it
could.
in though. Little safety. Like we're all very up for health and safety here on the Flipperama. So anyway, so we got this game, and the artwork seems to have been received really well. The shots, well, we'll let you decide on the shots. New game designer, good call outs, all the movie footage as well. However, guns. Tell us about the gun controversy.
Yeah, so look, I mean, John Wick's a huge theme for me. I'm a big fan. I got a lot of memorabilia, a lot of toys from the film. I think if we had done this episode 12 to 24 hours ago, I'd probably be ranting, but I had to like kind of take it in a bit and digest it. And then, I think everyone's very quick to blame Stern and kind of go, there's no guns anywhere on this. There's no guns on the playfield, on the artwork. There's a little weapons crate that opens up, and there's no guns in that.
There's no gun in the weapons crate.
There's no guns in the weapon crate.
He's in trouble, wouldn't you? If you were an assassin and then you went for your weapons crate and there was no guns in there, I think you're in trouble.
Well, as long as there's a pencil, that's all that matters.
It's true.
But yeah, stabby. So that hit controversy very quickly. Very within the first kind of 6 hours. Gomez came out and made a statement about the fact that their hands were tied on that. That was actually Lionsgate's decision to not have any guns on the artwork or playfield. Probably, got to do with the fact that machines are out in the public venues, maybe because of it's just, I don't know, it's a little John Woke, if you ask me. But,
John Woke.
Yeah.
Woke. Interesting.
Or John Wick, as some people have said it. But, it's not.
Sorry, what did you say? What?
John Wick. But
this is good stuff.
Everyone's very quick to obviously attack Stern on it because it's their title and everything. But they are very, very governed by licensing. I mean, Star Wars was a debacle for them. They were stuck between George Lucas and Disney and them, and some licensing is a big problem. Gomez said they had that problem with James Bond. James Bond nearly didn't have a gun on it either. So
has James Bond got a gun on it?
It does
now.
It's
on the playfield, isn't it? Yeah,
it does. Yeah. But again, he did comment in the statement that was released that they did have some problems with this as well. Now, look, I think you can get past it, and I think when you really watch the video, and Stern Marketing actually allowed a couple YouTubers to come in early, not pinball YouTubers, just YouTubers that do tech and arcade reviews and a bit more diplomatic reviewers to come in and play the game and show it in depth. And those videos have been released. And I think they've probably helped to kind of soothe over this whole, oh my God, it doesn't have guns. Keanu Reeves doesn't eat the ball, that type of stuff. But I don't think it's a big deal. There is the footage, obviously it's such a beautiful screen, and the John Wicks were shot in 4K footage, which is going to be on the machine. So the footage looks phenomenal. And there is shooting in the footage, that they kind of allowed. I don't think it's a deal breaker. There's going to be a shitload of mods. We know that. People probably make a couple Glocks for the playfield.
People will be shoehorning guns in there. There's no doubt. It'll be mostly gun by the time the mod makers are finished with it.
Yeah, look, I mean, like the Terminator 3 shooter rod gun.
Yes.
There'll be mods. And I mean, see, people go, yeah, but when I'm spending 8, 9, 10 grand, I shouldn't have to mod a machine. I get it. It is what it is. I don't think it's an issue. For me, if it didn't have Ian McShane, it would have been a deal breaker because I just don't know how they would have done it, to be honest. I can get over the reuse of ramps. Like they've got the Jaws one on the right-hand side and the Foo Fighter one on the left-hand side, which is similar to the Deadpool one, like you said. They're a business. They're a company. They're going to recycle parts. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. They got new toys in it. They got that car bash mod. I don't know if you've seen that. So you can bash it from the front, the side, the back, all different angles.
Well, I noticed they've got a metal plate on it actually.
So
which is obviously to protect the car. It's the car itself. As opposed to Dutch pinball, who they've obviously built this really robust car. They just bash the hell out of this car because that's what the dude does anyway. But I saw. I thought it was a neat enough bash toy. And
they've got the Lionsgate actually gave them the little replica Blood Oath marker, which actually is a 1-to-1 scale replica from the film. So they've actually scanned that, and that opens and closes as you hit the targets. And I thought that was a cool little toy as well. Doesn't open on the Pro, obviously, but only opens on the Premium and the Elite. Look, I think they've actually done, in my opinion, they've done a pretty good job. I think everyone's very quick to obviously criticize. There's a lot of keyboard warriors, but between having all the films, having that that sexy kind of neon noir dark, color scheme on the playfield, that's a tick for me. You can build your characters and track your progress as a hitman. That's a huge tick for me. Very similar to like the Venom style. I quite like that. There you go.
Safe driving, my friend.
Sexy voice.
I don't know if we're going to get a copyright strike for this. We'll
I'll just leave it, I guess. What can we do?
Get you a weapon.
The fact that crate opens, there's a little secret ramp there where you can access tasks and stuff. Look, I think, the artwork is great. The color scheme is great. The 4K footage is a big tick. I do like this little area here that they're showing now with the red circle club, because the balls, you can get in there, the balls will lock, they'll drop in. There's a bit of action happening. That should sound wicked as well, because that in the movie, that was a really kind of bass-heavy track. I've sat on it and I've digested it for the last 24 hours, and I'm really happy with it, to be honest.
Yeah, just having a look. Hopefully, you can still see it up on screen now.
You can, yep.
Yes, you were saying you quite like this section here.
I like that, where the balls lock there and they'll drop down into the Red Circle nightclub, which is a very, it's a very fun part of the film where it was a lot of action scenes. It was fast paced.
What's going on there? What's going on here?
Yeah. There's a bit of
some sort of I'm not aware of this sexual position actually. What's going on here?
That's a stand-up 69, they call it.
Oh, I like it. I like the stand-up. I'll try that one later.
Look, I think for me, I'm heavily invested in the film, so I can kind of relate to some of the shots and what they're trying to achieve from the shots. Like the car drifting, the coins, the Continental Hotel, the Blood Oath marker. Like they've got all the assets. They've done, in my opinion, a pretty good job. There could have been an upper playfield with I don't know, maybe Winston's desk or something, or they probably could have done an upper playfield, but they've gone for a bit more of a traditional layout, as they probably call it. I'm a big fan of the color scheme. That's for sure. As stupid as that sounds, something so simple.
Yeah, I mean, do you know who did the artwork on this?
You know what? Funny enough, I tried to find it and I couldn't find who it was. It was a guy that I personally have never heard of. I'm terrible with names.
Do you think it's the guy? It looks. I don't know if I might have this wrong. Is it the guy that did Rush?
You know what? I think it actually might be. I had it here. 1 second.
It does look like his sort of style.
I actually think it looks great. Ian McShane at the bottom of it looks a little bit too airbrushed. He's probably come in and said, "Oh, make me look sexier or make me look younger."
I would do the same thing. Truth be known.
Yeah, Randy Martinez. That's it. Randy Martinez. So he is. Should probably know this, but
no, I don't think that is the guy. I don't think that is the guy that did the Rush one.
No.
So we think it looks okay. The shots look interesting. I would look forward to playing this. Look, the theme does not. I'm not going to be one of these people that says, people always seem to sort of go for the binary thing. I love it or I hate it. The theme does everything for me, or the theme does nothing for me. But there's a whole bunch of people like me who don't love it, don't hate it, watched a couple of the films, don't know everything. I'm upset there's no dog in it, quite frankly. Never mind no
I
guns.
think there should be more uproar about a dog than there is about guns.
I want to see a little dog on there, and then you maybe you kill the dog or
dog eats ball or something.
Dog eats ball. Oh dear, I'm joking about killing a dog. I love dogs. I'm an animal lover. I'll just make that point, just in case anybody doesn't understand my sense of humour. I think So, do you think the reason that they have not put the guns on there is because they don't want to unduly influence people. They embarrassed the licensee. Are they embarrassed about the guns in as much as do they think it might promote gun violence? What do you think's happening here?
I don't know. I mean, considering Lionsgate made the films and the film is very gun heavy. I mean, I think he kills like 100 people each film.
Yeah.
Look, maybe because pinball is predominantly in public venues, maybe they're worried about the message it sends off. Again, there's going to be, I mean, we had a bit of negative comments the last time I mentioned this because I called this 2 months ago when we did that video.
Yeah.
I said there's a chance that there's not going to be any guns in it due to this whole gun violence thing.
You
but,
did say that.
I did say that. America's like, yeah, Second Amendment. I get it. Like, I get it. You know, like it is what it is. I don't think it would have made or break the game. I don't think kids are going to play it and go, I'm going to go shoot someone because I want to be John Wick.
But this is the argument. Look, if Lionsgate, whoever made the film, was so concerned about what messaging it would have got across, they would have made a cartoon for kids. You know, they wouldn't have made it. You've made a violent film. The genie's out the bottle. But I think this whole premise that people watch something on a screen and then they go and do it out in the public is, I mean, I watch a lot of dwarf porn, truthfully. I don't go out and touch up Peter Dinklage, do I?
It's funny his name is Dinklage, though.
Yeah.
Look,
you just don't necessarily, you don't go and do this stuff. And I think it's preposterous to suggest.
Well, no different to the films being MA rated or R rated, right? And parents will take their children in to watch these films. It's their decision, right? To allow their kids to watch these films. It's the same way that if this is in a public venue, like kids are not going to be in there by themselves. Like, if they're worried about what message it gives, there's still gunshots on the screen in the movie footage, so it's a bit of a weird call.
It's preposterous. Just because you watch I watched Ocean's 11 the other day. I've not gone out and robbed a casino.
Well, we probably should, though. Yet. One thing I will say, though, what I did really like is the fact that they're really leveraging Insider Connect, because that is their secret weapon. And, the fact that you've got your character tracking and you can make the hitman level up, and the fact that you could just be sitting there having dinner with your family and all of a sudden you get a hitman contract notification on your phone that it's a quest that you need to do, right? And you can accept that.
Would you finish your dinner?
I'd go, sorry, family. I've got a job to do.
Absolutely. You got someone to take out.
Everyone wants to be like, you go watch Rocky, you leave the movie, you want to bash some people's heads in.
I do.
You watch Fast and Furious. Yeah, you watch Fast and Furious.
Steal a car.
You want to, you want to like do some drifting. You want to, like this is like we all want to be James Bond. We all want to have the fancy suits and the sexy women and the booze. Everyone wants to be John Wick. And I think, like it's just. Anyway, it is what it is. Look, I do like there's some original stuff in here. There's some of the score of the music is original. Look, I think could they do more? Look, they could always do more. Someone in the comments on another video said, if JJP got this, they would have loaded it with stuff. Like, I get it. I get that. But, it is still pinball. Like, it's about the flow, the shots. As much as I'd love more toys, yeah, sure. But, maybe everyone's going to customize it anyway. So I'm not too worried about that. I do like the flow of everyone that I've watched the videos that have played, the ones at Stern Marketing. Everyone, they seem to really, really enjoy it. Their responses seem to be pretty genuine. I'm excited.
Do we know the difference between the pros and the premiums and whatnot?
So the LE has the Expression Light kit and the lights on the speakers like Jaws. Obviously, the fancy glass as well. And the premium, the LE, have the Blood Oath marker that opens and closes. The Pro doesn't have that. The Pro doesn't have the car that swings out.
Okay, so the car is a bash toy. You can bash it from the front and the back. It loops around.
Front, back, behind. You could do it all. You could do it all over the car if you want. It reminds me of my 21st.
Excellent. What a great weekend. I'd say that's a long time ago, bearing in mind it's just been your birthday. But
turned 40, mate. Feels like yesterday. So look, I think there are some differences. Are those differences going to make a difference? I don't think so. The bash toy is cool. I think it's some people said it looks a bit tacky, but at the end of the day, again, keeping costs down. But it is a toy that's probably going to get hammered, to be honest, with air balls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The Hotel Continental, that's a big part of the films, and that lights up. I love the little LED lights in all the windows. I would like to have seen that maybe bigger. So I'm sure we'll start seeing some mods where it's because it's right at the top of the game, right?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like the if everyone knows this building in New York, the Flatiron Building,
Mm.
the Flatiron Building, a very very famous building. And I've funny, I've always wanted to go to the Flatiron Building. Now, have you watched The Boys? You seen The Boys?
Yeah.
They get their office in the Flatiron Building, which I love.
Ironically, in the fourth film, spoiler alert, the building gets flattened.
The what?
The building gets flattened in the fourth movie.
Well, you have spoiled it. You've ruined it.
Well, sorry. We thought by now you would have watched them.
Yeah, I will still watch it. I love The Boys. Now that's a theme that would give me that. Oh, but can you imagine though that like they got The Boys, but Homelander wasn't in it or something?
Or there's a big orgy multi-ball or something.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, we're a bit too woke for that.
Honestly, if they're frightened to put a gun on a pinball machine, this is bearing in mind some of the great. I mean, Star Trek: Next Generation. I love the trigger on that. Indiana Jones. I say that like you can go on and on and on.
Demolition Man's got two of them.
Oh, it's got two. There you go.
Terminator 3. I mean,
yeah,
you could go on and on and on.
If they're not even going to put a pistol on a pinball machine, fortunately, CGC. Can you imagine? Would they have taken those off if Stern had done it, for instance? Fortunately, CGC kept them on the apron on Cactus Canyon. But we're getting no orgy. There's going to be no orgy.
It is what it is.
Absolutely. I was going to say I could think of a company that would, but I'm not going to say it because it's not fair because they'd probably say, "Oh no, don't say that." We wouldn't.
I got to say I'm really liking what Stern's doing. Stern cop a lot of criticism because they're the big boys. You know, they copped a lot of criticism for Jaws and they proved a lot of people wrong. You know, like in my opinion, I mean, we even were very skeptical when that first got showed, and I think everyone, you know, and even me, at first you kind of go, oh, you know, I wish this, I wish that, but you know, it's very small space to play with, right? How many ways can ramps go between games already being very similar? You know, this actually gives me Terminator 3 vibes a little bit. I don't know if you've played Terminator 3.
Yeah, I have. That's the one with the on the translite, the thing on the translite, isn't it?
Yeah. But the way the fan layout is a bit, this is essentially a fan layout. You know, which makes sense for a movie that's very fast action paced. You know, you kind of want quick balls and you want them coming back to you quick. You know, there's nothing like.
I honestly, I didn't mind. I thought the shots looked pretty good. And there's one thing I've learned: I just reserve judgment until I've played anything now. So we can talk about it, we can have an opinion on it, but actually, ultimate judgment, I need to play it. I absolutely need to play it and see if the theme engages me. And I certainly, even in the last year, my tastes have changed drastically on pinball. Drastically. I'm now into the realms of. I used to be so into my ramps. Now I honestly don't care. It's how addictive the game is. It's almost become everything to me.
No, I'm the same.
How addictive is it? So
I think you're going to like this. I actually think you'll play it and you'll like it because I've learned to know what you like and your tastes. I reckon you're going to like this. You know, like it's the same way that a lot of people didn't think they were going to like. You know, I'm going to say it, Elton John. But everyone that I've spoken to that's played it, they all like it.
That's a brilliant game. It's a brilliant game. I think Stern have for me I've sort of relaxed on Stern a little bit really. I think for a couple of reasons. Firstly, I think it's because of the competition. I think Stern have found their place. I think they're I mean, you said the big boys, and I guess they are. But for so long, there was so much pressure on them to make the best pinball machines, and the truth is they don't. They make some and now it's just a case of they just got to make really good games and deal with everybody else because now there's a lot of other companies who are making good machines, really good machines. And now you just look, I look at Stern as machines, particularly on the pros, that are a few £1,000 cheaper than other machines that are out there. And I just don't now look at, I wouldn't even begin to compare a Stern Pro to a JJP. You know, they're almost different products. No more than I compare I mean, I don't know what you got over there, but you know, would a Ford Focus to a Ferrari? It's not, you know, Stearns have got their place, and I would still challenge any machine to give me more fun than my Deadpool Pro has. There's not one. There's no game. No
I tend to
game
find
over the years has given me more fun than that. And it's simple. Are there any toys on that? There's not really, apart from the ones that I've stuck on there. But I'll tell you what the other thing is. The other thing that I've really grown to appreciate with Stearns, they're light and they're, when you pick them up, you think there's not much to this. But I tell you what, once you've done the initial tweaking, you've got to tweak a stern. When you get it home, you've got to tweak a stern. All right, you've got to adjust ramps and adjust this, that, and the other on a lot of them. Once it's done, it's done. It's done. I think even my Deadpool, looking at it now, 5,000-6,000 games, barely skipped a beat. Honestly, it just works.
They're workhorses.
I appreciate that.
Stearns are workhorses. They're workhorses. They're reliable, in my opinion. I've had a few of them. Never had a problem. They have their place and they do it well. Could they do more? Sure, but they'd have to charge more. Same way that the Jersey Jack is $24,000 in Australia. A Stern is 15. Or an LE is 20. But for the same we're comparing, I just feel that they do a good job. And every Stern machine I've ever played, I've always had fun on. Right. I've never kind of been disappointed. I was a bit disappointed with Venom Pro.
I thought it was
but Venom Premium has grown on me to the point that I would buy one. If I had the money and the space, I'd buy one. I really enjoyed it. They don't make a bad game. I'm yet to.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far. I think they do make a bad game, but
it's opinion.
I think
I lie. Sorry, Led Zeppelin's a terrible game. There you go.
Actually, I would mind a little bit more time with a Led Zeppelin, actually. But I think the thing that I've grown to appreciate is that all these things are made, by and large, obviously, most games are made in the States. In the States, Stern Pros are $6,000. It's a budget pinball machine. That's what it is. And actually, I think they stand up pretty damn well. The Venom Pro I just thought was awful. Just awful. It lacked imagination. I thought it was... had nothing at all. All right, I'm not saying had nothing at all, but I've already done a video. I've explained why I thought that was a bad game. And when I first saw this, I thought, oh, hold on a second, because they do have a tendency, some of these Sterns, to look the same and look similar. Whereas I don't necessarily find that with other games. A TNA, for instance, looks nothing like a Scooby-Doo. Nothing. They're not even remotely close. And
boutique companies always going to do it better. I mean, let's face it.
Sorry?
Boutique companies always.
It's not they do it better. I mean, there's a real difference. Whereas I look at a lot of Sterns, and I am seeing it had that look about it. It had that Venom look about it, but then you've got a scratch below the surface. Well, actually, there's some good stuff in here, and I've not spent any time with the jaws yet, and that's something I intend to do. I've not given up hope of maybe having a jaws at some point in terms of getting one. I quite like the idea of reeling the fish in, and that appeals to me. There's no doubt. I just haven't had, because I've been so busy in the last 3 months. I haven't had any real time to get that or pursue it. But I'm going to hopefully in the next few months have a little bit more time for pinball anyway. But yeah, I think Sterns have got their place, and I certainly, just because I couldn't tell you everything about John Wick. Doesn't mean that I wouldn't enjoy the game. What you said, I quite like the premise of doing a hitman mission. That's pretty cool. You don't have to be really into John Wick to understand the premise of that. As long as you understand that John Wick is a hitman, then any hitman film you've ever seen, is going to be good enough for you to get invested in the story.
To be honest, the movie's done so well, like ticket sale wise, that I'd be surprised if many pinball fans have not watched the John Wick film.
Sure.
So so that it's, in my opinion, I think it's a very relatable theme for a lot of the demographic. And probably because everybody loves Keanu Reeves. So even people that I know that aren't really into action films, they went to watch it because it's Keanu Reeves, right? Yeah. So, I think they were very smart on the asset. I think it's something different, to see, we've seen a lot of themes that are, music or Wizard of Oz, or I'm not going to say kiddish, but like themes that are kind of not, I don't like saying manly either, because that just puts everything into a category. But, to see an action, theme is fantastic. I'd love to see a Predator one. I'd love to see a a Blade Runner one. I'd love to see like, just machines like we did in the 80s and 90s where they were based on action films. I like that. This gives me a bit of nostalgia in that sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think there's room for everything now, and I think I've become a lot more chilled about it. And if I don't like a particular game, that's fine. There'll be something else along soon that I do like. Whether it's Matrix coming out on JJP, and I look at this John Wick one, and I think, well, okay, that's cool. I'm not the target audience for this one because I'm not a John Wick fan. It's not that I don't like revenge films. Sorry,
how cool would it be if Hugo Weaving did the call-outs on the Matrix?
Oh yeah. I mean, the Matrix is obviously more my era. It's not that I don't watch revenge films, but obviously, I am a little bit older. I'm not up on every single one, and I obviously I know Keanu Reeves is. But I mean, one of my favorite revenge films it's probably not recent years. Probably find it's 20 years old or something, but it's Taken. I like Taken. I thought was pretty much as good as it could get on revenge films. Be interested to see what other people's ideas are. But you've got to have it. You've got to have some music pins. You've got to have some pins that are based on films, some original themes, some that are based on TV shows. There really is. There's enough out there for everybody, and I really feel that. And I think there are probably a number of pinball machines where if you'd have told me at the start you're gonna quite like this, and I've looked at the theme and thought, oh, I'm not so sure. Actually, there are tons of them, tons and tons of games that you look at, and actually because the rules are captivating, because you get invested in it, and because they might have that addictive shot that needs to be done, the timing of it. It's all about the timing on a pinball machine. That addictive shot, and when are they going to ask you to make it? I mean, it can really lure you in and really pull you in. And I mean, the irony is, whilst I've not I've not had that much time for uploading video content recently on I've probably played more pinball in the past 2 months than I had done before. I'm certainly, playing every day, play pinball every single day. So yeah, I would look forward to seeing this, look forward to playing this, and I would not give it a kick in before I've actually seen it.
The thing I didn't talk about actually, sorry, was the combat AI. So Stern have this new thing, which is combat AI. So while you're playing, enemies pop up in the play fields. There's like 3 lights on every ramp, and that will show you the enemies. They're actually blocking that ramp. So you have to defeat those. And as you get better, and as you keep making more shots, they keep throwing more and more of them at you because obviously you're a good player, right? But the machine does it using AI. So it's actually every time you play, it's different.
Okay.
So that's a cool little thing, like I thought when I heard that they may have had like things that would pop up, like Ghostbusters, where it had the Soleri brothers, and they'd pop up. They got a bit annoying. I like how it's virtually done, where it just lights up, and if they're lit up, it means there's enemies in those ramps. I think that's cool, and I think it's going to kind of make it a little bit more video game-ish in a sense as well.
Yeah, but again, it's good that someone is going that way, and if that's what Stern want to do, then I think it's good. I think someone, as long as one of the manufacturers there sort of modernizing and pushing forward, I think that's great. It's not for me. I mean, I hate the Scoleri brothers, but I do love pop-up target. I would take them every day. I love drop targets. I really do.
Yeah.
But it's cool. Again, that's not for me. Pulp Fiction is. I am the target audience for Pulp Fiction. Absolutely. I mean, Back to the Future. Absolutely. I'm the target audience for that. But I would look forward to playing this one. I really, really would. I'd be very interested to see what Stern do next, though, because obviously you've got this big factory now. Going to kick a load. I do think that
there's a lot of talk of Pokemon. Like Pokemon is. And Stern haven't denied it. Someone commented on their website and they said patience. Like they didn't say not coming or that's no comment. They just said patience. So that kind of, which is an interesting asset because Nintendo like choke hold over what you can and can't do. And even though Pokemon is very childish as a sense, it's very pinball. I could imagine it in a pinball machine. So it'll be interesting to see if that is what they do next, to be honest.
Yeah, I again, it's something because of my age. I'm 50. I was not a child when this stuff was out. I was an adult when Pokemon came out and started and stuff like that. So I don't know anything. I could picture it, the Japanese round character things. I can picture it in my mind's eye.
Yeah.
What I can very much see is those in an arcade. How many people have those in their home? I don't know. Particularly people my age, I'm not so sure. But I can imagine them doing really, really well on location and in arcade, and and that's all that's all part of it. Absolutely, it is part of it. And to be fair, as pinball hobbyists, if you like, we need more of these things out in arcades. We need more people playing pinball, and if that's what gets someone hooked and gets them into pinball, fair play. It's like we said with the ABBA when we discussed the ABBA one. Not for me, not I can't think of anything worse to listen to, but if it gets people in an arcade playing it, they've never played pinball before, and they think, actually, now I like pinball. Oh, what's that one over there with a castle on it? Let me go and have a go on that. And if it just gets them into pinball, then that's got to be a good thing, for the hobby. Before we go, what's new?
Jaws. I've been restoring a World Cup soccer. Well, not me personally. A friend of a friend is helping doing that. I've just been buying the parts I need off eBay. But yeah, I finally got my hands on a Demolition Man after many, many years of looking for one and finding a good one. I'm pretty happy with the one I've got. That's it. Just lots of work, hardly any play, to be honest. But,
really?
We're just kind of weekend playing. I'm trying to get back into the routine of playing more often. But yeah,
what game are you playing most?
Most at the moment, I'd say it's still Stranger Things, Jaws, Deadpool, and Godzilla.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good.
Yeah. I'm finding I'm really struggling with Elvira. I like the game. I like the toys. It's just I'm really struggling with the theme and the callouts.
Really?
Yeah. It's the probably the translate's probably the thing that keeps me more captivated than anything. But
you don't like it when she says "nice organ."
Yeah, nice organ, or the backdoor entry.
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
Batman I really enjoy, but I just find that it is difficult. I'm not a great player, so it is a difficult game. But yeah, between kind of Stranger Things, Deadpool, Godzilla, and Jaws, they're the ones I'm kind of playing at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, Elvira's got a great code on it, but it's long. It's long, and I think it's quite a frustrating. As pinball's funny, there's some pinball machines. I mean, you could get to Gapper Angry, and if you end Gapper Angry early, it's enough to make you switch the pinball machine off. And you do, and you think, I'm not going for all that again. Well, I do anyway. I'm only talking about myself. Whereas there are some games you think, I've got to have another game. I've got to try. But generally those games are shorter. A shorter games. It's quite a long game. But yeah, I mean, you got some brilliant games there. Some absolutely brilliant games. So yeah, hopefully you can find a little bit more time. And just enjoy playing them with a family a little bit more, mate.
Yeah. Well, one of them's got to go in 3 months' time for John Wick, so I've got to make a decision in the next few months.
Interesting.
See what happens.
Yeah. I'll be interested. Do you know what? Be interested to know what you do. We'll have a little chinwag about that, and we'll find out. Mate, thank you very much for joining me. Top darts, mate. Top darts, as we say in the UK. For everybody else, sorry for the lack of uploads recently. It's been really, really busy with work and personal stuff and all types of stuff, really. But we will hopefully we'll have a good summer of pinball. We've got Pinfest coming up as well to really look forward to. We'll jump back on the top 50. We've got some more videos still to come from the pinball office as well. I have 2 new pinball machines. There you go. I'm not telling you because it's I'm going to make videos on them, and I'll be ruining a good video if I did that. But yeah, still loving pinball as much as ever. Been playing plenty, as you've heard. I've reconfigured the collection somewhat. 2 have been sold. It's been all changed. But
we need to see that list as well. the Gonzo's list, the top 50, whatever it is.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, it's just up there. We'll I've got to populate that. I've definitely got to put the couple that I've sold up on there as well. So we'll get that going as well. I think the next thing I've got to do is as well. I've got to, because Lebowski is back. I've got a video of a mod to do on that, and as I understand it, in the near future, we have 2, possibly 3 new releases hitting Flipperama Towers as well, which will be really interesting. We'll get videos up on that straight away, as ever. You know, massive thank you to Pinball Heaven who are helping with that. So yeah. Good times, one and all. Enzo, thanks for joining us, mate. Everybody else, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch up with you next time.